The murder of Charlie Kirk sent shockwaves through America. For some, it was a tragedy that tore open wounds of fear and division. For others, it became something far darker, a spectacle. Headlines blared, talk shows filled, and on social media, algorithms churned. As the nation grieved, one figure seemed to dominate the conversation: Elon Musk. With his billions, his influence, and his control over one of the largest platforms on Earth, Musk quickly positioned himself at the center of the narrative. Posts, polls, and provocative commentary appeared across his platform. Advertisers bought up slots. Engagement surged, and behind every click and view was profit. But not everyone was willing to let this go unchallenged. Enter Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Known for her sharp tongue and fearless presence, Crockett stepped forward as one of the few willing to confront the world's richest man head on. "This isn't just about Charlie Kirk," she declared in an early interview. "This is about a system that treats human suffering like currency, and a man who's profiting from it." The words landed like thunder. Suddenly the story was no longer just about a murder. It was about power, profit, and the morality of those who controlled America's digital stage. Musk dismissed her as irrelevant. His supporters mocked her. But Crockett did not back down. In a time when grief becomes news and tragedy becomes business, one congresswoman dared to ask the question, who is really profiting from our pain? And with that, the stage was set for one of the most explosive political confrontations of the year. The battle between Crockett and Musk didn't play out in whispers. It erupted in broad daylight, in interviews on cable news and across social media feeds. Every word Crockett spoke seemed sharper, every line more direct. "Free speech is one thing," she told a packed crowd during a town hall, "but free exploitation is another. Don't confuse one with the other, because when ads are running next to hashtags about Charlie Kirk's death, someone is profiting, and it isn't the people mourning." The crowd roared. For the first time, Musk looked rattled, not in public, but in the undercurrent of coverage. His defenders accused Crockett of political grandstanding. His critics called her the voice of truth. Either way, the confrontation was unavoidable. Musk struck back on his own platform. "Engagement is not exploitation," he posted. "Congresswoman Crockett is trying to silence voices she doesn't agree with." The post racked up millions of impressions within hours, amplifying the divide. Crockett responded with equal ferocity. "If your business model thrives when people die, then you're not protecting free speech. You're profiting from pain." The rhetoric grew sharper. Panels of analysts debated whether Crockett was exposing a moral rot at the heart of tech empires, or whether she was, as Musk claimed, exploiting tragedy herself. But through all the noise, one truth was clear. This was no longer about Kirk's murder alone. It was about the soul of the nation's discourse. As the accusations flew, America found itself caught between two powerful figures: a billionaire who claimed to champion free expression, and a congresswoman determined to reveal what she saw as the cost of his empire, and soon the cameras would bring them face to face. The tension reached its breaking point on Capitol Hill. A special congressional hearing had been convened, ostensibly to discuss online misinformation, but everyone knew why the cameras were really there. It was Jasmine Crockett versus Elon Musk, live, unfiltered, and destined to make headlines. The chamber was packed. Lawmakers filled every seat, journalists lined the walls, and cameras zoomed in, capturing every twitch, every breath. Musk sat at the witness table, his expression calm, even smug, as if the moment belonged to him. Crockett, seated at the dais, leaned forward with fire in her eyes. When the microphone flicked on, the room fell silent. "Mr. Musk," Crockett began, her tone deliberate and razor-sharp, "families are grieving, a community is shaken, and yet your platform has turned this tragedy into a carnival of profit. Ads surge, engagement skyrockets, and you sit here today as though this is business as usual. Tell me, how much blood money is enough?" Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Musk adjusted his tie, leaning into the microphone with cool precision. "With all due respect, Congresswoman," he replied, "my platform does not profit from tragedy. It provides free speech. If people choose to engage, that's their choice. If advertisers choose to pay, that's their choice. Blaming me for their actions is misguided." Crockett slammed her hand on the desk. "Free speech? Or free for all? You've built a system where outrage is monetized, where grief becomes a business plan. And now, in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder, your empire thrives while his memory is reduced to hashtags and headlines." The gallery erupted. Some clapped, others gasped. The chairman banged the gavel, demanding order. Musk smirked slightly as if enjoying the chaos. "Congresswoman, with all due respect, outrage existed long before me," he shot back. "I didn't create division. I simply revealed it. And if you think silencing voices is the solution, then perhaps you're the one profiting politically from this tragedy. The words hung heavy in the air. For a moment, it felt as if time froze. Crockett's jaw tightened, her eyes blazing. You dare accuse me of profiteering? I don't have billions to gain. I don't have algorithms designed to feed anger and amplify lies. What I have is a duty to the people who expect accountability. And today, accountability has a name: Elon Musk. Gas filled the room again. The confrontation had become more than a debate. It was a battle for the soul of how America processes tragedy. Musk leaned back, unbothered, but the cracks were showing. His fingers tapped the table, his eyes darted briefly to the cameras. In that chamber, beneath the bright lights and the heavy silence, a line had been drawn. On one side, a billionaire armed with influence and empire. On the other, a congresswoman armed only with conviction. The world held its breath, wondering who would blink first. The confrontation between Jasmine Crockett and Elon Musk didn't end when the gavel struck and the hearing adjourned. In many ways, that moment was only the beginning. Within hours, clips of the exchange went viral. Social media exploded. Hashtags like #Crockett vs. Musk, a justice for Charlie, and blood money trended worldwide. Commentators across the political spectrum dissected every word. Some praised Crockett as a fearless truth-teller, finally calling out a billionaire who had long escaped accountability. Others defended Musk, hailing him as a champion of free speech under attack by what they called performative politics. But beyond the online noise, something deeper had shifted. For families mourning Charlie Kirk, Crockett's fiery words felt like vindication. At least someone is saying what we've been feeling, one supporter told reporters outside the Capitol. Our pain is not a business opportunity. It's real, and it deserves respect. Musk, meanwhile, took to his own platform, firing off posts that mocked the hearing and accused Crockett of staging a political stunt. His allies amplified the message, while his critics doubled down. The fight had spilled out of the chamber and into every phone, every living room, every political debate across the nation. And yet, amid the chaos, one thing was undeniable. The spectacle had forced America to confront uncomfortable truths. Who profits from tragedy? Who controls the narrative when grief becomes news? And what happens when the platforms we depend on for connection turn mourning into metrics? Crockett, standing on the Capitol steps later that evening, addressed reporters once more. Her voice was steady, but her eyes revealed the weight of the battle. "This isn't about me versus Elon Musk," she said. "This is about a system that treats human suffering like a product. We have to decide if we want justice or just another show." The crowd erupted in cheers, though the divide was clear. America was split, as it so often is, between outrage and defense, between truth seekers and power brokers. And so, as night fell over Washington, the echoes of that confrontation lingered. It was more than a clash of personalities. It was a collision of values. Jasmine Crockett versus Elon Musk wasn't just about one case. It was about the future of accountability in a world where profit and power so often eclipse truth. The screen fades to black, the weight of the question lingering. Is this justice or theater? If this story shook you, don't just scroll away. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Is Crockett a fearless truth-teller, or was this all political theater? Hit the like button if you believe accountability still matters, and subscribe for more deep dives into the moments that shake Washington, and sometimes the world.